Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. So there's so much news. I'm probably gonna have to drop 2 videos today. Anyway, you've got the gamma stocks that got hammered. And when I say hammered, I mean mega hammered. If you don't know what I mean by the gamma stocks, I'm talking about Google, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and that's right, Amazon. Now, when Microsoft took their hit because they guided poorly, Amazon, everybody was like, oh, Amazon's not going to have that problem. They're the biggest. Nobody's near them, blah, blah, blah. Well, Amazon got hammered. Microsoft dropped like, I think, 6 point something percent. Amazon was almost at 20 when it got hammered. So think about that. And I think all of them got overly hammered. So if I was actually into stocks, there would be like 3 or 4 stocks I'd get into. I'm not a big fan of Apple, so I wouldn't get into that. And I definitely would not be getting into freaking Meta, right? They don't know what they're doing. Stop it. But Google, Amazon, Microsoft, those are the stocks that have a clear future. I mean, Google is trying to make it easier for Web3 developers to actually get into the space. That's big. That's really big, because that also means that Microsoft's doing it and Amazon's doing it. They're creating environments that make it easier to foster that innovation, to attract them to their platforms. Now think about this. Amazon is the biggest in that cloud services space. Google and Microsoft are way smaller, nowhere near. Somebody said they're not even in the same zip code. That's cool, but that means they have a lot of upward potential. Again, pay attention. Now, yes, it is true. A couple of days ago, Binance did wire over $500 million to be in on Elon's Twitter deal. 500 mil. Not a lot of money. CZ could have sent over a couple of bill if he wanted to, but he didn't. Only 500. But Sam Bankman-Fried was in communication with Elon, and I'm just wondering, did FTX make it in, or was it just Binance? I don't know yet. I'm still trying to research that. Moving on. The world's largest publicly traded Bitcoin miner. I told you about this July 8th. Go back to my videos. I told you about this July 8th. They were searching drastically, big time, for, liquidity. Well, guess what? They just filed paperwork with the SEC saying, hey, we could be headed for bankruptcy. Now, this is at a time when everybody thought miners had capitulated. Well, this would say that not all miners had capitulated, and that there could still be more downward movement in that space. The big question is, how would that affect the Bitcoin price? Don't know yet. Or at least I don't know yet. Might have to look at a couple of TAs, run some math, and go figure it out. But don't know yet, but I know that's not great. Anyway, if I am FTX, blockchain.com, or any other crypto exchange that's cut a deal with Visa to have debit cards, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, ugh. Because Visa just dropped patent applications with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for new wallet. That kind of makes sense, right? So you shouldn't be upset about that. New exchange and NFTs. So yeah, I'd be looking at them kind of going, damn. Because what happens with these credit cards? You go in, you use a credit card, Visa pays out the cash, and then they take out from this integration, they take out the equivalent, funding from your digital assets. That would mean that eventually they'd be holding on to a whole lot of digital assets. So doesn't it make sense that they would just become their own exchange? Yeah, it does make sense. It does. That's not necessarily great for everybody else though. Oof. So that's something to pay attention to. Visa has a ton of reach. Let's not play. They're one of the world's largest, if not the world's largest, credit card company. So them making a move like this is big. Don't play. Don't play. It's huge. Now, Twitter had a whole bunch of things that they had going on to come to the front of mind. One are Twitter tiles that they had been in business with. New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and The Guardian. They want to expand that, and they've named a bunch of companies that they want to work with to do that, and that's great. Then the other thing that they wanted to do was trade NFTs via tweets. Now, I'm looking at both of those. I'm saying those could be really cool things, but there's a new sheriff in town. So what's going to happen when the new sheriff walks in and he just goes, yeah, that's stupid. Project gone in a heartbeat. He's walking in the door talking about, oh, I'm going to fire some people. Now, he said in a meeting yesterday, well, I'm not going to, that's untrue. Everything that you heard is untrue. Are you serious? I'm expecting heads to roll. I'm expecting a whole bunch of stuff. He's flown in a whole bunch of people from his other businesses, his other companies to kind of, get in there and start digging in. What? So there's going to be he's created a massive change management problem. If you don't know what change management is, that's the idea that you want to change the strategic direction or culture of an organization, and you're doing it in such a drastic manner that you're scaring the people that are still there, who are now going to say, I don't want to tell you how I do stuff because that's how I'm going to keep my job. Well, now. So you've got that extreme, and the other extreme is, well, if you fire one of us, you're going to fire all of us. That could also happen. So we don't know what's going to play out. What I do believe is that Doge is going to rise and continue rising, especially when all that dust settles and Elon decides this is how we're going to do things. You want to get rid of bots? One of the quickest and easiest ways is we're going to make everybody authenticate using crypto, using blockchain. There's Doge. Just saying. So there are a lot of things that you could do to get rid of bots, do all kinds of things. There are tons of answers to all this, but that's what I'm paying attention to. Another area that I'm paying attention to are CBDCs. Now, Kazakhstan has been making big moves, and one of those big moves has been to say, yeah, we're going to have a CBDC, we're working on it. And now they've taken it a step further, saying that they're going to integrate their CBDC with BNB Chain. That's Binance. Now, as more countries come out here and start doing that, what does that mean? Does that mean that there's going to be more competition to get those integrations? Does that mean that there's going to be a reason for those ISO 222 coins to start making noise? Highly possible. Don't know yet, but those are the things that I'm researching. Anyway, we should really get to the numbers, and I know I've had this screen up here. You haven't seen me at all. This is me. Good morning. But let's really start to dig in on the numbers. Let's go back over here. Boop, 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 boop. Refresh the screen, and you can see winners and losers. Losers list is decreased a little while ago. Huobi is actually a big deal because they're getting rid of they're delisting their own stablecoin and moving everything over to USDT. That's Tether. That's a huge move. Tether lately has been saying, hey, we don't have any more commercial paper. So that's kind of a big deal. Paying attention to that. Cardano is down 6%. Also, for me, I think that's a buying opportunity, and I'll probably get in with a little bit more. Uniswap is down 6%. I'm not holding any Uniswap, but I do like Uniswap. That's something I'm paying attention to. 7% down for Ethereum name service. That's not cute, but possibly a good reason to get in, because that drop creates an opportunity, creates that dip where it could make sense to get in if that's something that you like. Aptos came in, and they're already ranked 54 out of market cap, and they're down 12%. They had a little bit of a blip. Now they're down 12%. Makes you scratch your head, right? On the winner's side, not that big. You know my 5% rule. The only one that's here that I'm paying attention to is Dogecoin, which is up 7%. Again, I expect there to be small dips as we go forward, but I'm expecting Doge to be trending on an upward pattern, especially when, when and if Elon says, hey, this is what we've got going on over here with Doge. So there's a lot that could happen there. Let's start off here. We've got the numbers in. Core PCE price index came in 6.12%. 6.2%. I'm looking at things where, does it make a difference to me? The core PCE price index, expected at 0.5, came in at 0.5. GDP was higher. So think about this. We had lower GDP for 2 months in a row. That's what they called an unofficial technical recession. So yeah, we were there, but now GDP is up. So now what? So could that mean that we're going to get a 75 basis point move, or are we going to get a 50 basis point move because of all the pressure that Powell is feeling right now? Don't know. But between 50 and 75 is already baked in, right? 50 would just send the markets sky high, in my humble opinion. So I'm just paying attention to this, and I'm asking the kids, my kids, to help me do some research on this stuff because it's kind of a big deal. Fear and greed index still at 30. It's still in the 30s. I expect it to drop a little bit, but still, because the market went up, you had less fear in the market space. You have Bitcoin still trading within my inner band, denoted here by my green lines, my outer band denoted here by my blue lines. Now remember, this was the low over here, and this is the most recent high over here. Now, the inner bands depict, where have we been? Now look at this, where we've been bouncing around. So we've hit a new high, but are we going to wind up bouncing around back like over here? Because look at this high over here. Does that mean that's where we're going to wind up playing? Because that's what we're touching on the bottom over here. So that's what these are the things that I'm paying attention to, and this is all Bitcoin. Now, when you look at the broader picture, again, Doge is up at 8.2 cents. Just a few days ago, it was at 5 point something, I think 5.7. Now you're all the way up to 8.2. If you got in, getting in is good. I think there's still an opportunity for tremendous upside here as Elon starts to continue digging into Twitter, because that is going to be where, if anything happens with Doge, that's going to be where. Cardano is down. Is that something that I'm paying attention to? And the reason why is because I love Cardano. I think for me, this is a buying opportunity, and I will be considering that with the kids later on when we have our family meeting. Now, if I'm looking at everything over here, I'm seeing that there are opportunities. I mean, look at Doge. Over the past 7 days, it's risen over 40%, 42%. Nobody else. But when you look at Ethereum, quietly, Ethereum has risen 19.27% over the past 7 days. Those are big moves. Polygon, in the past 30 days, up 23%. Past 7 days, up almost 15%. Rising, establishing new lows, rising, establishing new lows. Polygon's got a lot more in the tank. A hell of a lot more. That's the biggest, baddest, platform out there in terms of dApps and things like that. So I'm looking for more news out of them. And remember, the second shoe from the Disney thing, the Disney Accelerator program, has not dropped yet. And I'm expecting there to be news about that. And that will just, if anything positive coming from that, from that accelerator program for Polygon, will skyrocket that coin. So yeah, I'm holding a nice bag with that one. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope you like what I'm doing. Have a great day. I'll probably shoot another video. No promises, but I'll probably shoot another video later because there's a lot of news that I did not cover in this video. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.